historic day for the ARCA Racing Series. 43 drivers are about to take the green flag at the World Center of Racing. To bring the cars to life, we need the command to start engines. And doing the honors is Greg Miller from AutoZone.
And now, race fans, it is time for those most famous words in motorsports. Here to give the command, please welcome back your Grand Marshal, Senior Product Manager for AutoZone, Greg Miller.
Drivers, start your engines.
Stock car racing, the new season starts here. It is every driver's dream to race at Daytona. Green flag in the air, we're underway. It can also turn into a nightmare. Oh, the big hit on the 60th. Today, a full lineup of veterans and rookies take on this 2.5-mile oval. Bobby Gerhardt is looking for his 6th Daytona win. Series champion Frank Kimmel still racing for his first. This race may also see the first woman to win, as several top female drivers will start today. From those ranks, the media spotlight has focused on open-wheel star Danica Patrick's first foray into stock car racing. Two-wheel racing legend Ricky Carmichael is also here, determined to build his four-wheel racing resume. It's the first big race of the season. Big track, big risks, and big rewards. It's 200 miles of white-knuckle racing from Daytona as the ARCA Racing Series opens up the 2010 racing season. Welcome to Daytona International Speedway for the 47th annual Lucas Oil Slick Mist 200. There are plenty of big stories surrounding the ARCA race today, but none bigger than a 27-year-old from Roscoe, Illinois by the name of Danica Patrick. Wendy Venturini has been following this story since she announced she was going to go stock car racing just over a month ago.
Yes, Rick, and the sports media have been following the Danica story, from her move from Indy cars to stock cars, and finally the day has come. Danica Patrick making her debut in stock cars. No longer will the media be writing about it. Now they'll be watching one of the most anticipated race of Speed Weeks. I spoke with her earlier. Danica, you're a true racer. When we come to Daytona, the goal is to win for everybody. But at how much do you have to take that? You want to get seat time, but also put yourself in a position to win. What's going to be more important today?
I think, I want to make sure I get it through as much as the race as possible. Hopefully nothing bad happens at the beginning, because I do need that seat time. It's not going to do me any good if I'm not getting it. But I think if we're out there and we just play it cool and be smart, I really think that I think that we can make it to the end and be in some kind of contention. But I'm just going to try and be smart out there. I'm really hoping to get this GoDaddy car to the front of the field and have a good result. And also, the other GoDaddy car did pretty darn good today too, with Mark qualifying on the pole. So it's pretty exciting for all of GoDaddy and Bob Parsons, who put it all together. Your crew chief, Tony Uri Jr., said you walked pit road this morning. You studied the 2009 ARCA Daytona race. Why are these small details so important? They're not really small because I've never seen the way a start looks. So, it was important for me to see how long everybody was double wide through the corners, and also just to know where those timing lines are, and to also know, where the pit lane really does end and how it works. It's, there are sections, little, like 2 sections that you have to go by. It's just new for me. So, and it's just therapeutic. You go out there, you're with Tony, we just see it all. I want to know where my pit box was, because unlike an Indy car, first time you see your pit box is the first stop. And it's those small details that could get Danica Patrick to victory lane. Good luck today. Thank you.
Thank you, Wendy. Rick Allen, Phil Parsons, Darrell Waltrip with you for today's race. Now, one of the biggest statistics I saw there, 81 starts. So a veteran race car driver, but her first ever start in stock cars, Darrell.
Yeah, and I was worried about the start, but I just thought about it. She's already used to starting 3 wide at Indy, so this will probably be a piece of cake today.
She's a sponge. She was asking so many questions of Tony Jr. and really all the other guys, Kelly Byers, her JR Motorsports teammate. She really wants to learn. She said a few moments ago she really would would like to get the bulk of this race in to get some experience. But at the end of the day, she's a competitor, a very fierce competitor, and I know she's going to want to win.
She's not the only story in the field today. We've also got 42 other drivers that are going to be trying to make a story for themselves. And with the story, we go down to Jim Tretow.
And Rick, 51 cars came here for the biggest stage and the biggest race of the ARCA Racing Series season. They all had their eyes focused on a few cars. One of them starts up front, a familiar place at the finish last year. We caught up with the pole sitter a moment ago. And James Busher takes this car that he won with a year ago back to the front of the field in qualifying. James Busher, I've got to ask you about the mood right now as we're moments away from what could be a second straight victory in a familiar race car.
I mean, it's good for everybody involved. I mean, 51 Phoenix construction cars, obviously really fast. We were fastest in practice, won the pole, and hopefully we can go lead every lap and win the race. But I know that's a lot to ask for, but I think we're capable of doing it. It's the same car that I started from the back with last year and won, like you said, and hopefully starting up front makes it a little easier than last year.
Very strong piece, and again, a full nationwide schedule for him. So, and as important it is to win, he's here for the W, and that's it, guys.
Thank you, Jim. Cars again rolling around the racetrack. We're about ready to get the green flag to kick off the 2010 season. Stay with us here on Speed. Find out who moves to the front first. Coverage of the ARCA Racing Series on Speed is brought to you by Lucas Slick Mist, the fast and easy car care products. By RE/MAX. Find your dream home at RE/MAX.com. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards. Welcome back to the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway. 43 cars making their way around the 2.5-mile, very high-banked oval. Your starting grid, your Burger King starting grid, starting to roll across the top of the screen. That will continue as we want to take a closer look at our track description.
Let's take a look at our Russell Stover track description. DW, 2.5 miles of corners, 31 degrees banking. That trial there in the front straightaway, that's a turn.
It is, and it's really fast. It's very deceiving how fast you go through the trial. The other big thing, Phil, is the bumps. This track has a lot of wave, almost like waves, like you're going across water. The car really wants to porpoise. That creates a lot of problems.
Let's talk strategy. Let's take a look at our race description as far as what's going to take place.
As you can see, 80 laps, 200 miles, 43 cars starting this race, and 9 rookies in this race, 6 female drivers in this race. And the pit window for this race, Darrell, is about 55 or 60 laps. I was talking to James Finch, who owns a pole-winning car driven by James Busher, and he said that he's won this race 3 times before, and he's never put tires on any one of those 3 races.
No, they have a great tire, and, if you don't need them, don't put them on. It's just time in the pits.
Before we see the green flag, let's go back pit road and Wendy Venturini.
Bobby Gerhart is one of the most experienced veterans in the ARCA Series, especially here at Daytona. He has 5 wins. Last year, he was white-knuckling it around the racetrack. This year, he has a much more difficult setup. He said he wants to keep his car stiff and have a more comfortable ride, and he's starting 8th today for Bobby Gerhart. Let's head over to Jim Tretow.
And Wendy, Frank Kimmel has been in this race since 1992. He's a 9-time champion, but he's 0-for at the Daytona Motor Speedway. Daytona International Speedway has never been the track that he's had great success at. This car raced at Talladega and with his son last year here at Daytona. Also a driver to keep your eye on, Bill Baird in the 52 machine. He is 60 years of age. If he was to win today and back up those top 3 finishes at Daytona and Talladega with this race car, he'll become the oldest race winner in ARCA history.